I'm back. It is officially week 3 or the end of week 3 of my 365 project 365. And if you don't know what that is, go ahead and check out, hold on, let me get you set up. Should I fix the lighting? Oh, my camera's about to die. How is that possible? Oh, I'm so upset. Okay, anyways. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Project 365, I'm gonna give you a little recap, and then if you wanna go watch the video that explains it in depth, I will link it here. But I am basically on a 1-year self-improvement journey. I'm just at a point in my life, a pivotal turning point, where I know there is growth needed internally. It's probably not something that others are gonna see a change in, but I myself will be able to see it and feel it. And so there are different things along the way that I'm wanting to do. So I just wanted this video to be a recap because it's been a minute since we've checked in. Obviously, latest, I finished this book today, The Mountain Is You. So that was one of the books I started Project 365 with. And guys, I would say this book, I would recommend it for anyone in their 20s specifically. I do think you have to have a bit of a self-awareness to be ready to read this book, because a part of me wishes I would have had this years ago, but I know I wouldn't have been ready to read it, if that makes sense. Like, you got to be at a certain point in your spot to be reading specific self-improvement books. But this book, Transforming Self-Sabotage into Self-Mastery, you could read this book front to back, or if you want, you could read it depending on each chapter corresponds with like something different you might be going through. So that's another way to read it. I'm a front to back kind of girl, but I mean, I really highlighted the crap out of this thing. Really enjoyed it. This is one that I will for sure be keeping and rereading for years to come. And I don't say that hardly ever. There's only one other book, actually 2, that I'm willing to reread. But I would say, if anything, it really explains to you why you do what you do in terms of self-sabotaging, and then just how to overcome it. I wouldn't say anything is like revolutionary. I think that's where people get bogged down when it comes to reading self-improvement books, is they're wanting this like epiphany moment, someone to basically hand you the instructions to life, but like no one can do that for you except for you. But it really helps keep things in perspective. And that's what I feel like I needed in this moment, was kind of a greater understanding of why I do what I do, and that can help propel me forward in this journey. So I did write in my journal kind of just a recap of each week, because I don't want to forget it. So week 1, started reading. Week 1 was a great workout week. I worked out 5 times week 1. I haven't done that in years. Have not done that in years. And you know, let's just keep in mind, starting is the easy part, continuing consistently is the hard part, which I failed at, which is, I didn't fail, but I'm just not there yet, and I'm okay with that. So week 2, I only worked out twice, okay? So definitely downhill, and the goal I had set out was to do 30 minutes of movement, whatever that is, every single day, because I know I'm the type of person to fall off the wagon if I'm not making it a daily habit, because like one day off turns into 2, turns into 3, yada, yada, yada. And if anything, it just teaches you not to prioritize your health, because what people end up saying is like, oh, I was so busy, blah, blah, blah. And yes, I did have a busier week last week, and there were things that took me out of my routine. But I'm gonna own that I just chose not to, right? Because it's never, I didn't have time for that. That is my least favorite phrase. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's, you didn't make time for that. You didn't prioritize your time, because what I've realized, and I've known this for a while, is I've got to commit to the morning workout, because no one's trying to like be all up in your business in the morning. You don't have stuff to do. There's nothing pulling at you, right? You're not too tired to work out. I mean, you are, in the sense that you don't want to get up. But that's what I feel like I'm saying at the end of my day, is like, oh, I'm so tired. And that's another thing that leads into this week, but let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, I did at the end of last week on Friday, and weeks in my head are Monday through Sunday, just an FYI. I don't do Sunday to Saturday. That just doesn't make sense in my brain. But last Thursday or Friday, I did a really good healthy grocery haul. I was like, honey, we eat pretty well for the most part, But it comes to like snacks, or I don't know, it just felt like there were areas we could just clean up a little bit with our diet. And I'm not one to be a dieter. I really do love eating for health reasons. And to be honest, I really like fruits and vegetables, so it's really not that hard for me, but just trying to have more focus on that. So week 3, no workout so far, and it's Thursday. So the camera definitely did end up dying, but here we are back. So where was I? Okay, so week 3, I think I was talking about exercising. Have not worked out at all this week. Frankly, I've just been like exhausted. And I always struggle with, you know, if they say you're tired, from what I've read and whatever and hear people say, is that you should opt to get the sleep versus trying to fit in a workout, especially because if your body needs rest, it needs rest. Like, give your body what it wants. But I think if I work out in the mornings and just get it over with, because we all wake up tired, it doesn't mean we're actually tired in that moment, then I'll be okay because workout's done. Like, check, moving on with life. You know what I mean? But like, I'm trying not to overthink the fatigue part too much, because the last 2 days, my eyelid, this one specifically, has been twitching. And I really didn't think much of it. I can't say when the last time that's happened, but I didn't think much of it until it continued doing it. Like, it was just a few times yesterday, and then today, like, we're talking past 8 times. And so I did Google, and I was like, oh, what causes an eyelid to twitch? And I saw that it was fatigue, stress, and caffeine. I don't believe it's caffeine because I'm not intaking any more than I usually do. Definitely feel the fatigue, and I don't feel stressed about particularly anything, but I know I am because I keep feeling my jaw clench. Like, I've been having to like actively be aware to relax my face because I tend to store my stress in my face, I guess. So I know it's fatigue and I know it's stress about whatever. I will also say, as a teacher, if you know a teacher, you're friends with a teacher, family member with a teacher, dating a teacher, you are a teacher, like, give them a hug, because the end of the year, it's not even stressful. Like, there's lots of like little things we have to wrap up, but for the most part, it is just, we're donezo. Like, stick a fork in us, get us out of the oven, we're done with the year. We're just like applauding ourselves for showing up each day. This was like a bad week in terms of mental health. I literally wanted to call in every day. I haven't felt this way in a while. And I will say I had really bad anxiety and depression prior to spring break, but ever since spring break, I've been good. That's why breaks are so necessary with teaching. And I will also say that week 1, where I worked out 5 times a week, the like happiest I have felt in a long time, the most energy I have felt in a long time. So I really do think there's something to be said about workouts. If you want to learn more about that, there's a whole book called Move the Body, Heal the Mind. I liked it. I wouldn't reread it again unless you're like really interested in that. I wouldn't recommend it. Just know, like, basically you got to do what you got to do, because it's not just about health for your body, but health for your mind, and they are directly linked. Like, that is the summary of that. So that's why I know I got to get back on track with the working out. And I think that is pretty much it in terms of the goals, or not goals, but like recap. But I'm also gonna get in bed earlier tonight. I've got to get some sleep. Like, I've got to just chillax, because I feel just like not here mentally, physically, all the things. So I know I just need to kind of take it easy tonight, prep, do the things. I really like working out outside, but I think I'm just gonna save that for the weekends and just go ahead and schedule myself for morning workouts. I haven't really pushed myself physically in a very long time, because I'm always that person that goes from one extreme to the other. Like, it's really hard for me to stay in this chill zone. For instance, like all throughout growing up, I was always in competitive sports. Went to college, guess what? You don't have competitive sports. So I was like, I'm gonna do bodybuilding competitions. So I did 3 bodybuilding competitions. And then ever since then, it was like trying to find this like peace with food and with working out. And I found it. But I do just feel like I don't know, I'm just kind of excited to just get in a little bit better shape than just like chill Courtney has been. And what was I gonna say? Oh, another reason the whole health thing has been like really kicking me in the butt is because I gained 7 pounds in 1 month, okay? 1 month, which is very significant. Like, let's not diminish that. If someone was like, oh, I lost 7 pounds this month, you'd be like, that's amazing. Okay, it's not amazing when you're gaining those 7 pounds, like in 1 month. I think I would feel a little bit differently if it was a gradual process, but it was 1 month. And I'm not one to weigh myself very frequent at all, like maybe once a week, maybe every other week. And when I jumped on that scale and saw that number, I was like, you know, my clothes have been fitting a little tight. I need to just get things, you know, back where they were. And yeah, so that's all that. I do want to show y'all my vision board. I'd considered making this a separate video based on how this one is going. I might just do that.